Hello, welcome. Monique Cat here. Welcome to the Alluring Womanhood and Femininity Show. Let me see what I have here. Okay, yeah, welcome. You can catch me every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 noon Pacific. Turn this up. Make sure all the pleasantries and housekeeping is in order. Excuse me. Today I want to be really brief though, and just really speak about the importance of understanding the emotional wounds that we all carry, and learning how to really heal from that because it's so important. Healing the emotional wounds, understanding the emotional wounds that block you from operating at your highest potential, that block you from polishing your potential so that you can always be operating in your feminine allure. And there are so many things that can affect women like us, starting from childhood, maybe your last relationship, whatever it is. I had a conversation basically this weekend about, a family member who, was so bright, so brilliant, just a go-get-it type of girl, and all of a sudden something happened, when she went to college, and everything just kind of shifted. There was this loss of confidence, this sense of loss of power, loss of identity, and no one really knows. No one really knows what happens, but there was a trigger, and it was associated with the guy. It was associated with the man. And because of that, there is some parts of her that need to be healed. And I'm saying this because we can all relate to this, that there are parts of within us that really needed to be healed. Welcome, Tammy. She says, I really needed this today. Rough weekend. Welcome. Welcome, beautiful. Welcome to the Alluring Womanhood and Femininity Show, where you can get your restoration, part of your feminine restoration. And so, just really being able to understand where you are right now, what your desires are, how you can honor your desires, and where you need to begin in order to cleanse the wound, right? Heal the wound, burn it out, doing whatever needs to be done. Because sometimes there's a lot of work. Hi, Velvet, welcome. Hi. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before we can really get the man, right? Before and we can get the man, but sometimes there's a lot of work to be done in order to keep it going, right? Getting the man is one thing, keeping him is another, and having what it takes to maintain a relationship with a man of principle requires skills. It requires support. It requires a sense of strength, and really an understanding of your responsibility, right? Your privilege of really being a woman, the privilege of being a woman, understanding your influence too, okay? So whatever the emotional wounding is for you, really start to dig deep, right? And you'll know that you might be experiencing, that you need to heal from emotional wounds if you find yourself criticizing men in order to hoping that it will change behavior. That's one way. If you find yourself lashing out or popping off, right, that's an indication that you have an unmet need. If you find yourself becoming like you just don't feel like the woman that you were, whatever she was, you don't feel that vibrant, radiant, lively self anymore. That whimsical, playful, childlike, not childish, but that childlike spirit, just that kind of get up and go. And I'm not even saying that, to attribute that with age. I'm just saying that inner spirit, right? That inner spirit is lost. That's an indication that there's an emotional wound that needs to be healed. Envy. If you find yourself becoming envious of other women and their relationships with their men, or men in general with their fathers, that's an indication that there's an emotional wound that should be healed. And the way that you are not going to get it is by giving what you're getting. There's a quote that says, you will not influence the world by trying to be like it. In the same way that you will not influence men, right, by giving them the type of energy that you're getting. Here's what I mean by that. If you're with a man, right, let's say you meet a guy, right, and he's gone through a divorce, and he's really hurt, he's really insecure right now because he got burned. He felt like he was really, really burned. And so because of that, he's guarded. And he is seeming emotionally unavailable. But he's there for you. You know, you talk often, but you just feel like you can't get a way in. And so after trying and trying and trying, you start to guard yourself, close down a little bit because you feel like what you're doing is not working. But if Nicole says, that's my situation. Hi. Hey, Hunter. Good to see you here. We got the regulars and we got some newbies. I love to see you all. Hello. Welcome, welcome. I remember I recorded a video. It's a 3-part video training series, right? Become the woman who gets everything that she wants, especially for men. And in that video, I talk about the orchid that recently died now. But I talk about the blossoming, the unfolding, right? Unfolding, the blossoming into the best version of yourself. And what's going to be required in order for that to happen? Because guess what? I had this orchid. I knew nothing about how to care for it. I knew nothing about how to water it until one man, my former colleague, an ex-colleague, just gave me a word. And he said, well, you know what? This thing can grow back. And I'm like, really? It can? What do I need to do? Because I was giving so much. I was overwatering the plant. And oftentimes when we don't get what we want, if a man is not really responsive to us, sometimes we can overdo it. Or we shut down, right? We overdo it, so we overwater the plant, or we just gonna leave it alone and see if it's gonna do on its own, and hopefully something magical will happen. So the flower like blossomed again. It blossomed. And I'm saying this to say that even though I was watering the plant, I did not see it blossom because it had taken about 9 months for me to see a bud. And when I did see the bud, I was like, oh my gosh, I took a picture, sent it to my husband and everything because I was just too excited, because you know, you spend your money on these plants. And I didn't know how to care for it. So I say that to say that we only know what's familiar to us until someone can come into our lives and give us that good word and pour something into our hearts so that we can water the plants, you know? It's just like you can water your relationship, you can water your inner garden, your inner landscape, so that it can flourish. So I say this to go back to the example of maybe you're with a man, you know, he's recently divorced or whatever it is, whatever he is experiencing, and you've found yourself mirroring that energy. It will not work. It cannot work. And that's why I say it's so important to really heal that emotional wound that you might be experiencing too. Because maybe you've had something from the past where you feel like it's starting to manifest in your current situation. Whether it was an episode of infidelity, finances were not in order, right? Some sort of betrayal, whether it was from a man or even self-betrayal, right? You felt like you abandoned yourself, which is one of the most devastating things that we women can do. Doing something where we feel really, really bad about it afterwards. Like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that again? You know? So, you know, we cannot influence the world trying to be like it. You cannot influence your man trying to be like him or giving him that same energy that he's giving you. Because it's only light that can bring out the darkness. You know, fire cannot put out fire. It's water and pressure and support and everything else except for fire that can, you know, put it out. Darkness cannot put out darkness, only light can. You know, so I say this to say that in order to begin to heal the emotional wounding, in order to really influence the world, because you know that I believe where women go, society goes. That's why it's so important that we women get in order, that we women get in line, we polish our potential so that we can heal our emotional wounding. We can let our guard down. We can become women we're proud of. We can own our femininity, attract our man, and really just, you can create your lifelong loving relationship doing it all through invitation, 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 inspiration, 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 instead of manipulation, instead of control, instead of obligation. Okay? So I'm saying all this to say that you have a choice. And I want you to be, I want you to think about what part can you be responsible for? What part can you be responsible for in your story with your emotional wounding, how you're showing up, how you're responding to situations, how you're responding to the men in your life, your sons, your children, your brothers, your parents, co-workers and colleagues. Because if we don't deal with that, it's going to blow up and it's going to fester, and we don't want to have that kind of passive aggressive attitude and that kind of response. So I say this to say that, anytime you have that sort of emotional wounding, it can cause you to have a negative energy towards men that will not serve you and it will not bring forth profit. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a decision. No duh, Monique. This is not brain surgery. It's not rocket science, This is a sense of heart surgery. That's what it is. It's heart surgery. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery, but it is heart surgery, because it takes a lot of, I think I posted this quote before, that it takes a lot of vulnerability to be loved, but it takes a lot of courage for us to love. I don't remember who wrote that, but I feel like I posted it in the group before. So knowing that it takes a lot of courage for us to love, because we say that we want to love and we want to be loved and have this wonderful relationship and just be beautiful and experience bliss. But are we really ready for that? Are we really, are you really ready for that? Ready for the work, ready for the commitment. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like it's all extra work. What I'm saying is, now is the time to really prepare yourself. That's it. I'm just saying now is the time to prepare yourself. And it's really difficult, especially if you find that you're mirroring. You want to do different. You want to do better for yourself, right? You have this vision of the woman that you are now and the woman that you want to be. And it's really difficult to stop the habits. It's difficult to break out of whatever your default mode is. And I totally understand that. It's going to be difficult if you are doing that alone. So that's why, if this message resonates with you right now, I want to invite you to email me so that we can have a conversation. If anything that I've said to you over this few weeks that I've been hosting the Alluring Womanhood and Femininity show, you've been getting my emails, appeals to you, let's talk and have a phone conversation. You can email me, Monique at Feminine Allure Academy. In the subject line, put Let's Talk. And, let me know what your challenge is. And then we can schedule a time to speak. Okay? But in order for you to heal, let me go back now. So in order for you to really heal this emotional wounding, I just want you to begin at one place. I want you to begin at one place. And I want you to decide, make a decision to choose love. Always. I want you to make a decision to choose love always. Because you have options. You can choose love or you can choose fear. And fear is going to pop up because that's just a natural part of our human experience. It's going to pop up. It's going to tell you stories. It's going to make you mad. It's going to be like, have you listening to all types of crazy music so you can get yourself excited and get mad and stay mad. But no. I know that's not what you want, or else you wouldn't be here, right? You don't want to wait for somebody to pull the flower open. You want to blossom on your own, so that other people can see you and can recognize you and can say, wow, that woman is special. She is rare. I've never seen anyone like that. She's different. She's really different. Wow. And because of that, I'm curious about her. I want to be around her more. I want to experience her, and hopefully what she has will rub off on me. That's what it's about. You don't have to wait and keep your guard up and wait for someone to see if he has what it takes to pull it down, because you felt like you've given so much and now you're waiting for him to give back to you. That's that kind of tit for tat. That's that kind of like equality stuff that doesn't work in relationships. I tell you about that. Relationships with men and women is not about equality. It's about balance. It's about balance. It's about balance. So, hold on. Okay, so sorry. Every time I get on here, I see someone sending me a message or some sort of alert is coming up. So sorry about that. Do you have any questions, ladies? Do you have any questions? Experiencing this now. Hello. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Superior. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Kelly, Hunter, Day Renee, Kelly, Velvet, everyone. Okay, so Rochelle says, it's so ironic. I was just listening to your webcast where you talked about fear and the need to heal, where you suggested letting go of fear. Yeah, good stuff. Now, not listening to Lemonade right now, no anger. Right, listen to The Beautiful Side. I think it's a 2-part album. So listen to The Beautiful Side. That's what it's about. It's about creating an environment where you can really exist as love. That's so important, just to know that you are love, that you exist as love, that God is love, and God is within you. And God will use you, right? God will use you to create his vision on earth. And actually, he's going to do it with or without us, but it will be a privilege that he can, allow us to be a part of the process. And I believe that relationships and just the beautiful blossoming of what happens in a beautiful relationship with men and women just allows God's will to be done on earth. Yeah. Crazy music. My music of choice when I want to get out of my feelings is Southern hip hop. T.I., Lil Jon, Ludacris. Yeah, you like that hype music. I listen to that when I'm working out. I hear you, Velvet. I hear you. Hunter says, I know I am unique. I know I'm desired, but I have a belief that I'm too much for any man to choose me as the one. Whoa, this is good. For the first time in my life, I've been working on dropping my guard, and in doing so, I found the love of my life. He is amazing. He is amazed to find someone who is so open. He wants some of that. Yeah, it raises him up. I'm no one special, but it's such a great place to be in. Good for you. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah. He wants some of it. Someone to raise him up. So let me go back to what Hunter said. I have a belief that I am too much. See, Hunter, then my question will become, where does that belief come from? Is it just him, or, for like the person, or is that something that you've heard before growing up? And I ask that because I know that some women, maybe we've heard things growing up, maybe from a father, parent. You're just too much. You're too much. And it's also about giving yourself a reframe. I'm too much for a lot of men. I'm too much. And I know that long time ago as a child. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? My experience with that has been, I'm tall. I'm a tall woman, right? I'm 5'10" and some change. I'm very statuesque. Like you can't miss me when you see me walking. You can't miss me. You can't miss me at all. And because of that, I was taught to sort of just kind of, be really nice and sweet, because you're going to be intimidating. You're tall, you're towering over the people, you're smart, you're beautiful. So you have to tone it down a little bit. You don't be too much. Don't be too much. And that kind of stayed with me, into my adult life and, blossoming into my womanhood. And I just had to make a decision. Like, who cares? Who cares? The person who is for me will be able to meet that energy. Right? And I know what it is that I want. I know what it is, the type of relationship that I can have with a man who can meet that energy, who can help to provide structure around that, who can help to protect that energy, and who can help to, tame me a little bit. I can't even lie, because sometimes I can get crazy. So I want a man who can be able to meet that with a masculine energy, the kind of masculine energy and the type of love that really transforms me. That's what I wanted. So my response to that, Hunter, is to shift that, right? It's so much easier to say, well, this is how I'm going to be. And that's not what I'm for. I'm not saying, well, this is how I'm going to be, and you just got to accept me. I don't really believe in that mentality, that mindset. But I want to encourage you to think about, okay, where does that belief come from? Is it true? That's what you want to ask yourself. Like, is it true? Are you too much? Also, a man I was involved with said that, yeah, Tammy, said that you were too much. And if this is something that you've heard over and over and over and over again, there comes a time where we have to figure out, well, is this true? Am I too much? And in what ways am I too much? And do you want to disassociate yourself with that? Like, is being too much, do you feel like it serves you or does it hinder you? You know, because people will show us things. If you hear from one person, if you hear from more than one person, we have to go inward, and we have to be women who are introspective to say, well, is this true or not? Like, am I like this? And in what ways am I being too much? If too much is very vague. You know, so if you can get to the details and find out in what ways are you too much, and if you've heard that before, like if I've heard that before, I've heard things and I had to say, well, you know what? Yeah, I can't even lie. I am like that. And I don't want to be like that. So I have to make a decision. I have to make a decision. Like, my thing is, I was a complainer. Like, nothing could satisfy me. I don't know what it was. Nothing could ever satisfy me. I complained a lot, and I'd heard that in plenty relationships. So for something like that, you know, that's not something that I want to carry with me going forward. Because I want to be satisfied. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy, and I want my man to know that he has what it takes to make me happy, right? So the way that I thought that was by expressing gratitude. Get into the habit of gratitude, because gratitude is a magnifier. So depending upon what your thing is, you know, I can equip you and show you some tools that you'll be able to resist that and combat that if that's what you want, right? But first of all, you have to ask yourself, is this true? And if it is true, do you want to change it? If you find that to be the truth for yourself in your heart, what you believe, do you believe that it's serving you or not? And if you don't believe that it's serving you and you want to shift that, you can do it. You can do it. And if you would like support, you know, email me, Monique@FeminineAllure.com. And that's for the other women who are listening and watching as well. Michelle, I'd like to hear from you. Like, what are some things that you've done? How have you been working on dropping your guard? Because it's always good to hear from other women how this is, you know, what are the practices that you're doing if you're still here? Because I know that, you know, you mentioned that you were in a relationship and it's just going so well. So if you would like to share, if you don't mind, you know, what's working for you right now? What does that look like when you say you've been dropping your guard? Okay? We'd love to hear. This is wonderful dialogue, ladies. Are there any other questions? I just want you, the takeaway is that I want you to always choose love in each moment, Ask yourself, is what I'm doing going to help me to get what I want? You know, am I willing to risk the intimacy by holding on to this emotional wounding? Do you recommend dating multiple people at one time before committing to one? Nicole asks. I usually invest time and energy in one person, and if it fails, there's a long period of time it takes to get past emotional pain. And then I become vulnerable all over again to give love another chance, and it seems to become time-consuming cycle. To answer your question, Nicole, yes, I do believe that we should date, that dating multiple people at one time is a go. Here's the thing though, dating is not synonymous with sex. Okay? Dating is not synonymous with sex. And we women, especially black women, we have a tendency to just like prematurely bond with someone. You know, it's like, oh, we met someone, we're latching on. It's that look and latch. And, you know, that doesn't serve us. As an adult, we can have adult conversations. Right. Yeah. So she said, no sex. Right. So yes, I do believe it's important to date more than one. That way you don't get too attached. Number one, you don't get too attached with one person. You're able to practice your feminine allure skills with each one. You're able to notice how you feel. And as you're out with these men, you know, change the kind of dialogue, change the conversation so that it's about, how do I feel when I'm around him? Do I like him? Can I see a future with him? You know, am I enjoying this moment? Am I enjoying this conversation? That's what it's about. It's about really understanding how you're feeling in the moment rather than, you know, and not to say that you're doing this, but I'm using this as an example because I know that we women, when we get around men, it's always like, but does he like me? You know, is he going to call? We start thinking about marriage and kids and all this other stuff, you know, buying a home, living together, vacations. But you know, you are the gift, right? It's your society that really brings pleasure. So keep the conversation light. You know, you don't want to talk about other men that you're dating unless he asks. And maybe you can have some playful banter around that too to make it fun if you want. But yeah, it is important at this stage to date more than one man, because you get to practice your skills. You get to not become too attached, because when there's one, it's like, hey, I'm holding on to this, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, like I'm hearing you say, it goes into that sort of time-consuming energy. But this is really a time to just have fun and allow yourself to be, man, to just be the gift, you know? Be the gift. Let people see you. Let them treat you. Yeah. And I think that's going to help you with the investment of the time, because I'm hearing is that you're putting a lot of time into one person, and when it doesn't go the way that you hope, you know, it can hurt. It can hurt. So if he asks you, you know, if you're dating others, how much do you share? Yeah, that's a good, great question. Well, we know we don't want to talk about sex. Appreciate that. You're welcome, Nicole. What would I say? What have I said in the past? My life is busy, right? You know, I keep a busy life. What would I say? And I'm trying to think about if I've ever really kind of sort of been asked that. How much do you share? You really have to use your discernment there, you know? I mean, because if you share too much, you don't want it to seem like you're just out there all around. But at the same time, and this really depends on how far you've gone, you know, when you're dating someone. Like if you've been sexually intimate with a person and he's asking you if you're dating other men, naturally, it's inevitable that his mind is going to go that, okay, you're having sex with these men, and all of a sudden, it can just really go there. Like, there can be a sense of like devaluing, you know, you. So what do you say? How much do you share? You share as much as it feels good to you. You know, you share that. Maybe, you know, I'm not dating. You can just say this, you know, I'm keeping myself open. I'm keeping my options open until I'm in a committed relationship. That's what I would say. I'm keeping my options open until I'm in a committed relationship. Because the truth is, we're not in a relationship until you're in a relationship. How does that feel? Let me know. What do y'all think about that response? Michelle says, okay, in response to the question, when I asked her about, you know, what are you practicing to let your guard down? She says, I used to be really shy and quiet, afraid to speak up for self. Now I've gotten to a place where I'm not worried. Oh, y'all giving it to me today. Where I'm not worried about what others think. I think, you know, I'm a strong Christian, hold my boundaries and be true to myself and accepting others for who they are. And in doing so, I have great friends around me. Great, great. My man in my life says I'm a breath of fresh air, and he can be real because I am. Beautiful. I'm hearing, you know, having friendships, having boundaries. Friendships and boundaries, and knowing what you want to be able to stand in your grace and power is the thing that has helped you to let your guard down and show up as that rare and that wanted woman. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. Velvet says, I found that if they ask you're dating more than one person, say yes, sip tea, then wait for the next question. Don't answer questions. Don't answer questions that he hasn't asked yet. Yeah. Yeah. It feels good to me to say, you know, I keep my options open until I'm in a monogamous committed relationship. Right. And that way you are very clear about what you want, and you'll know you can get what you want. Just share the truth. Dating is dating until you are truly committed to someone. Exactly. For me, sex isn't faux, just dating it for commitment. And then Hunter says, perfect. This is great, ladies. I really appreciate this dialogue and the conversation, not only with me, but also amongst each other. The open until in committed relationship comment. Yeah, keep it open until you're open. Until you're in a committed relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, ladies, this has been wonderful. This has been wonderful. If you have any other questions or topics that you would like to discuss here on the Alluring Womanhood and Femininity Show, post it below. Hi, Denise. It says, darn, it won't let me get on this little thing. So, well, you can go ahead and watch the replay. I'm happy that you're here. We've had a lot of discussion, a lot of newer ladies who are showing up. I know you women typically watch the replay, but there are a lot of live viewers. So never treat someone as a priority if they are not treating you as an option. Yes. Bring it today. Yes, absolutely. Michelle says, never treat someone as a priority if they are treating you as an option. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, ladies, if any of this appeals to you, if any of this, resonates with you, I want to let you know, I want to invite you to just have a conversation with me. Share my page, invite some of your friends to be a part of this group. Let them know, let them know what it is that you like about my message or the group here, and invite them. Ask them if they would like to join, and then send them an invite. Just don't, send them an invite to join us. But that's it. This feels complete. I want to close there, and I wish you all the best. Just remember, you get to choose. You get to choose. That's the great about having a will, is that you get to choose who you want to be, how you want to show up in the world, and whether or not you want to live and exist as love, or are you going to choose fear. But it's so common, it's so common for us to choose fear. I know that you want to be that rare and that wanted woman who blossoms into the best version of yourself so that you can really attract your man and really create that lifelong living relationship. In the first place, I keep saying the first place, but I believe that tending to that inner landscape is so, so important, because we go through things and we want to make sure that, yes, we have a man, we can meet men all around us, but if we're not really ready to let our guard down, to be vulnerable, and to have the courage to love and to be honest about where we are in your journey, where you are and where we are in our journey, because, I'm a woman too. It can be really, really difficult. So in order for you to sort of quantum leap to love, ooh, that sounds good too, quantum leap to love, healing that emotional wounding, healing that story within, whatever that is for you. I've mentioned before, mine was just loss of identity, infidelity, just wondering what's going on. What is he doing? That need to know. That was part of my emotional wounding. Okay. I would like to talk about love languages and long distance relationships. Okay. Awesome. I like that. Great idea. Thank you. Awesome as always, Monique. Thank you, ladies, for watching, and you are most welcome. So I will see you ladies next time. Take care.